I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Yo, what is cracking? What's popping? It's your boy. We back. We back at it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all already know what time it is. Got to get my audio right. Working remotely tonight from a different location. Make sure my audio is good. Give me the thumbs up if the audio is good. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see y'all, man. We got some new people in the building. Shout out to David Iglesias in here first. Says Tua is trash. Got to go. Ooh. We got to go up on that one. Shout out to the homie David Iglesias in the building. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. I see you. Hooked Up Joe is in the building, man. Shout out to the homie Hooked Up Joe, man. I got to give a shout out to the members gang, man. The members gang has been holding me down. We are back, guys. We are back. Got my monetization back. So shout out to everybody who has been supporting the channel through the members gang. And the members gang was up to like 35, 37 members. And we just got it back. Shout out to S. Harris, Hooked Up Joe, Triple S Podcast, Big Slick, Raul Parada, and Cruz Ruiz, who are all members. If you want to become a member, it's easy. Go to the channel, click the link, and become a member. Support the channel. So shout out to those guys. Those are some of my day one guys, too. So shout out to the homie Hooked Up Joe. We got to go up for the homie Hooked Up Joe, man. Let's get it. Let's get it, Joe. Let's get it. Yes, sir, man. Yep. So I was on the AFC East roundtable. That's why I was late, guys. Talking with TD, Dudley Do Wrong, and Barry Cunningham came up, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of Barry, but I respect his hustle. I respect his grind, but some of his takes are just a little outlandish to me. But, I mean, to each his own. All right. So I appreciate you guys checking me out over there, supporting the channel over there. Shout out to the homie New Finland in the building. False advertising put me through to the complaints department right now, huh? Put me through to the complaints department. Yeah, for sure, man. Salute to the homie Canes in the building. He says salute CB83 and everyone. Shout out to the homie Canes in the building. Lansing Moore in the building. What's up, man? Ain't no team captain holding Tua Tagovailoa accountable, bro. He ain't getting held accountable. What's up with that, man? I feel like everybody should be getting held accountable. And I think that's part of it, man. And I think everybody should be stepping up and, you know, willing to challenge each other. I think that's what it's about. But during the show, I'm going to address a lot of what's going on in the community, a lot of the takes and the hate that we've been getting. The hate that, you know, Tua's been getting. I think we got to talk about all of that. I think everything's fair game at this point. And I think the Miami Dolphins are in a very precarious situation, right? With trying to figure out whether they're going to be, you know, signing this guy to a long-term deal, right? Or trying to figure out how to find an out to it, right? Now, do I think they try to move off of him? I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're going to move off Tua. But I do think that Tua does really need some real competition in the building. I think that's necessary. Some QBs can function without that competition, and I think some can't. And I think Tua's the type of guy that needs that competition to push him. I think Tua needs to develop a moxie, right? Whether that's getting more confidence in the offense or in your craft, in your ability to function, and your ability to stay healthy. I think that's a lot of it. So, I mean, we're going to address a lot of that. And we're just gonna kind of go down the list. I see the homie Dolphins realtor in here. That Dolphins realtor, yo, what's good? What's good, my boy? Shout out to the homie Dolphins realtor, man. We got to go up for the homie. My man Rick says he doesn't follow Barry anymore. Yeah, I mean, some people follow him, some people don't. I think he's everybody's got a cup of tea. He may not be some people's cup of tea. That's for sure. Lansing Moore, what's good? Please don't get in your feelings, bro, about Tua. No, I'm not in my feelings. I just feel like to be completely honest with you with the Tua situation, Tua's he was soft down the stretch. I'm gonna just say it. He was soft. He's got to be better. He's got to play better. He's got to function better. He's got to develop more of a moxie. He's got to develop more grit. He just doesn't have that. And when I look at guys like Baker Mayfield play in the playoffs, and even Patrick Mahomes against us, he was just finding a way, right? Like refusing to lose. And that's one of my big hashtags that I use, right? It's refuse to lose. And I just don't see that refusing to lose from Tua, right? And I feel like in order to be a really good football player, I feel like you got to have some of that about your game. I feel like you got to carry a chip, right? And I think that chip helps you get over the humps where, hey, it's cold outside, right? The wind is cutting through the air and it's hard to throw the ball, right? You put a little bit more zip on it. You're willing to take that hit. You're willing to step up in the pocket and take that hit because you know it's going to be the difference in the game. I think that's just what Tua's missing a little bit, that grit. And I don't know if you develop that overnight or you don't develop it overnight. I think it's just being confident in the league and being confident in your ability to make plays. I think that's part of that. So I think he's got to try to get himself in some uncomfortable situations this offseason. I think he's got to go do some different stuff. You got to be willing to get outside the box and think differently and do some different stuff this offseason. That's what I want to see, man. He's got to be better. That Dolphins realtor says Barry Cunningham rubs me the wrong way. He's trolling mainly, man. It's a lot of trolling. Newfoundland says Barry flips and flops like a fish out of water. Lansing Moore says his mentality is weak. And I think you're talking about too, and I agree. I think mentally he is a little weak in some instances. And those moments where he needs to be better, he doesn't step up to the plate. And this is kind of I'm gonna address some takes that TD had recently with Barry and with other people and just on his channel in general, because I think it's important to touch on some of these topics. And I think the more we have these conversations as Dolphin fans, the more the better off we'll be, right? And I think when you look at some of the situation, and I think the first thing I want to talk about is Mike McDaniel as a coach, right? And TD's thing was, hey, Mike McDaniels shouldn't be the scapegoat for this. He shouldn't get the onus for this. He's working with a limited quarterback. And I couldn't disagree with that more, right? And the reason I say that is because you're a head coach. You said you could take this guy, you could turn him into the guy you think he could be. You said, hey, he's the perfect guy for my system. You showed the team, you showed the personnel, team personnel, 700 clips of Tua making good plays, which he has. He made a lot of good plays prior to McDaniel coming in, right? So you understand this. You know what he can and can't do. You know what he's good at. So you have to put a system in place that's going to be able to function at a high level with Tua as your quarterback. And you keep putting yourself in a position where you don't focus on the run game and you abandon it at times, right? And people can show me the numbers, right? So I was just talking to TD, and he was like, well, we ran the ball 44% of the time, and we passed at 56% of the time. Cool, right? That's cool. But in games down the stretch where you needed to really show that you were capable of running the football, that you were capable of getting short yardage, you struggled. You just really struggled. And that's what hindered us the most down the stretch, is that Mike McDaniel could not get it done in short yardage situations. He could not get it done on third down. Point blank, period. You put yourself into some bad situations on third down, and as a result of it, we couldn't move the chains. So Mike McDaniel has to own that, right? He has to own that, and it's tough from a play caller that's calling plays from the sideline. I've always been a proponent of, I'd rather have my OC and my DC in the box, because I feel like they could see a lot from up there. They could see who's blitzing, who's showing. They could see the coverages. They could see what the offense is doing. I'm a big proponent of those guys being in the box. And Mike McDaniel being on the sideline and being the head coach and being the play caller, I think is a lot for a young head coach, right? I think some guys do it and come in and do it well, but I think other guys kind of struggle with it because, hey, maybe their offense is a little too complex and there's a little bit too much going on, right? And I don't know if that's the case. I just feel like, man, like we got to be better. And people say, hey, they want Tua to audible and do all these checks. That's a Mike McDaniel thing, right? That's Mike McDaniel. If Mike McDaniel is implementing a system where he gives Tua the freedom to check and audible and all of this stuff, then he would be doing that, right? He would be doing it because we run motion 80% of the time. And for us to get up there and check and do audibles, and I don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's a realistic concept in the offense. I think Mike McDaniel gives him the play, and he expects us to run a play because he thinks that's the best play for what we're about to encounter. So it's a tough situation to be in, but Mike McDaniel has to take most of this blame. He has to. And I'm sorry, I'm not letting Mike McDaniel off the hook. I just can't, because he's responsible for it. He's the head coach. It all falls on him, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and he wears the crown. So he's got to take it. And it's his offense. His offense put up 7 points in Kansas City. I don't care if it was negative 34 or whatever it was. You got to find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Whether it's running the ball or passing the ball, you got to find a way to figure it out. You got to. So I can't just give Mike McDaniel that pass like TD does. I can't give him the pass. I can't do it. Right? Shout out to the homie Newfoundland in the building. He says, do you think we draft another quarterback and have him sit, or will that be detrimental to other needs? That's a good question, right? I think you gotta every year until you feel like you got the one. I feel like you gotta take somebody, right? And I don't know if you feel like Skylar Thompson's not the guy. Draft another QB who could be the guy, who you could see as a future quarterback for your team. Not just the guy, just not a placeholder, not a backup. We need guys who we see as being the futures of the team, right? And I think that's part of it. I think I would be fine with us drafting a quarterback, but give him a real opportunity, right? Give him a real opportunity. And I think quarterbacks are best when they sit for a little bit and have some time. And Tua really didn't get that opportunity, right? I mean, we had 2 first-round picks, and we're trying to figure out if he's the guy. You got to play because we got to see, right? So that's that situation. But McDaniel has to take a lot of the blame here. I'm just sorry. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and McDaniel, it's on him. Watching Hard Knocks, Jalen Waddle said on the sideline, we got 7 points, bro. There's no reason we should be scoring 7 points in a game like this. The defense was more decimated than anything down the stretch. So there's no reason for it. Play calling, trash. No jet sweeps. No creativity, no reverses, no nothing. It's just sit back and take it for the most part. And people, I mean, I thought McDaniel was like McGenius too, who would draw it up, dial it up, figure it out. We just didn't see any of that down the stretch. I saw more in the first part of the season with the flip to A-chain in the goal line area on short yardage. Like I saw more early in the season than I saw later on the season, and I thought McDaniel was going to really get in his bag in the back half of the season. Or I thought in the playoffs I'd see something that was like, yo, that's a tough-ass play call, and I did not see that. So I was just real disappointed. I was just really disappointed. The play calling was poor down the stretch. We got to be better, right? No creativity. We're trying to motion. We're not motioning. A legal man downfield constantly. The guys don't know when there's a pass and when there's not. It's just little stuff like that make a difference. It's the attention to detail. And down the stretch, McDaniel's offense was not detail oriented. They were not in tune. They weren't locked in. They didn't understand where they needed to be on certain plays. There's no way. And we got away with some calls in some of these games. Linemen downfield every play. Like, come on, man. Y'all got to be better. You got to know when we're passing it and when we're running it. And you can't be guessing out there, because if you're guessing, you're dead wrong, right? And I hope that's not what McDaniel is coaching y'all to do, because that's wrong. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be locked in and understand when we're passing and when we're running. So McDaniel down the stretch, poor. He's got to own that, and I think he is owning that. That's a good thing about him. He's a dude who owns what he does. Hey, I could have did better as a coach. He does that. That's what I do respect about him. Rick Safe says, I'd love TD and DDW. Yeah, we were just on a panel together. Lansing says, it's hard to admit that we just want Tua to be great. Yeah. I mean, I just want Tua to be great. I want the Miami Dolphins to win. I think that's part of it. I'm hoping he turns out to be really good. I mean, that's blind faith, but hey, I mean, that's what I want for my team. That's what we all want. That Dolphins realtor says, we are good when everything is going the right type of team. Funny that our motto is adversity is opportunity. Adversity is opportunity to do what? To be more trash? Like, we got to be better. We got to be better. And Mike McDaniel has to be better. He has to create a better culture. Even the defense down the stretch was just soft. Nobody wanted to hit Josh Allen. That's what bothered me most about this team, because I knew we could play better. I knew we were tougher than what we were putting out there in the field. And we just couldn't find a way to get it done. Couldn't find a way. I was really disappointed with this team down the stretch. Really disappointed with Tua, McDaniel, the way the offense was operating, couldn't get third downs. Defense was soft at times, didn't want to hit nobody, didn't want to cover. Man, this was a much better football team than what we put out there the last few games. It just was. And I can understand why fans are upset. I can. I'm upset too. I mean, I'm really still not over it. But, I mean, you got to move on, right? And in the offseason, we'll get better. We'll clean house a little bit, make some adjustments, and we'll figure it out. We got to. We have no choice. But we got to create a more physical culture. We do. Trenches they got to be priority. Draft, free agency, the trenches have to be priority, right? Tua's getting the ball out quick. We need to get him out of that mindset that you need to get the ball out right away. No, you got time. Just chill, see it develop, deliver the football. That's what we need. Take your time. You don't see it, you getting pressure up the outside, climb the pocket, go up the middle, take off for 5 yards if you need to. Get down, slide. Like that's what we need. That's what we need. Newfoundland says agreed. It was poor play calling and poor QB play down the stretch. I agree. I mean, that's what it was. Poor play calling, poor execution on offense. That's Mike McDaniel. That's Tua. That's the receivers. That's Tyreek. That's Waddle. That's the running backs. That's the offensive line. That's the whole unit as a unit. Lansing Moore says the shit comes down to winning big games, 83. Not only those Tua struggle against a winning team, but also McDaniel getting outcoached against that he does. He does. And that's something that he's got to fix too. But I don't think it's necessarily him getting outcoached. I think it's just him thinking too much, bro. Like, what are you thinking so much for? 3rd and 2, run the ball, dog. Like, don't throw the screen pass. Don't throw the screen pass. That's the last thing I want to see right here. Just run the ball. Give it to a guy. Hand it off to him and see if he can get a yard. That way, hey, if we go for it on 4th down, it's just a yard. Run a quarterback sneak with Tua. Like, I know he had concussion issues in the past, but, bro, when are we going to just let go and play football? And I think that was our biggest problem, right? Just so focused on guys being healthy and, like, bro, you can't save these guys. Like, if they're going to get hurt, they're going to get hurt. That's the nature of the game. I mean, there's going to be casualties of war. That's the nature of it. You can't protect them. You got to put them out there. You're trying to win the war. You telling me you're going to save them and then lose the battle and lose the war? No, you got to put them out there, man. Got to put them out there. J.R. Black says, words are powerful. Truly calling someone weak is not what they dodged personally. We know that Tua come back from anyone to sit on their high chair and call him what they have done. Do Tua have to do more? Yes. But do Mike have to do more? Yes. I don't care. Anyone that come back from major injury that play 9 months later is not weak in any shape or form. And I don't think Tua is weak. No, he's not weak. I think Tua is a very strong cat, but he's got to be better like that. I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to see Tua be better. That's what we want to see. Another thing I wanted to address was this Chris Greer talk. Man, we gotta, like, y'all gotta stop with the Chris Greer talk, bro. This is my thing. GMs are responsible for putting talent on the field, talent that really can implement the head coach's plan, right? His plan that he wants to set forth and put into place. So the GM is responsible for bringing in talent to implement the plan. Now, Mike McDaniel is responsible for coaching the talent, putting it in the right place, being very detail oriented, and making sure the talent is doing what they need to do in order to help the team win. And Chris Greer is only responsible for bringing in talent. He can't coach the guys. He can't implement the scheme, right? I think we had 6 Pro Bowlers on the roster. I think when was the last time the Miami Dolphins had 6 Pro Bowlers on the roster? I don't think it's happened in probably 30 to 40 years, right? So we got to stop with the Chris Greer. And people will say, oh, he overspends in free agency. He doesn't hit in the draft. Nobody hits 100% in the draft. Nobody hits 80 to 90% in the draft. It just doesn't happen. So you can't put it at Chris Greer's feet. He did what the coach asked him to do, brought in talent, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb, drafted guys like Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, Austin Jackson, guys who are players now, right? Brought in Mostert, right? Drafted A-Chain, brought in guys to try to help win. Now, because the coach can't get it done, that's not his fault. It's just not. Because guys get hurt, I don't think it's his fault either, bro. You're trying to get thrifty because you got to be thrifty. So you're going to have to bring in some guys who are banged up sometimes. You know, you're trying to buy low and, sell high, right? You're trying to buy some guys low because they're guys who had an injury past. I think that's the nature of it, man. So you can't go at Chris Greer for this. Can't go at Chris Greer. If you're going to put it on anybody, put it on McDaniel, Tua, the offense, offensive line, all of those guys. Everybody on the offense. Everybody in the offense was bad. The homie Lewis in the building. Lou, what's up, man? What's up with you, my boy? Mr. Polk in the building. What's up, Mr. Polk? What's going on with you? Wolfpack here. Wolfpack. Ooh. Hooked up Joe in the building. He says, watching Hard Knocks on the final week, they looked like they were phoning it in. Didn't seem like they were focused on a playoff game. And I agree with you there. I just think this team is too casual sometimes, right? And when you look at a team, so I watched our game, right? And then Monday night I watched the Bucks game, and I'm like, damn, the Bucks look locked in, dog. I mean, they look like they was trying. I mean, you saw it in their eyes. Dudes making plays. Baker was locked in. Baker came out with the smelly sauce. Man, get to us some smelly sauce. Please. Please get to us some smelly sauce ASAP. We got to do something to wake him up like early in games. He got to do something different. Like, Baker came out slinging it, defense making plays, and you can tell, and this is what I said on Twitter. I said head coaches usually, or teams, NFL teams, usually take on the characteristic of the head coach, right? And if your head coach is casual and he's just like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll get it done. We'll adjust. That's how the team ends up playing. And that's how they played on Saturday night. It was just like, oh, yeah, we're here, but, you know, we're not really like here. Like, and that's what I saw Saturday. And it's like, Mike McDaniel has to tighten up the ship. And I just said this on the roundtable. It is very hard to tighten the ship after you've came in and been loose with it, right? So you've been very loose with it, very casual, right? Oh, yeah, you know, it's a great atmosphere. Guys are having fun, but we expect you to play well. And now what happens when they don't play well? Are you checking them? Are you getting on them? Like, like, how do we hold guys accountable in the system? I mean, I know you can't force guys to go out there and make plays, but you want to figure out what motivates these guys. Some of the, oh, this is fun, this is a great environment, some of that is just too much. And I think that's down the stretch hurt us, right? We weren't locked in. I mean, we just didn't look like we were ready to play on Saturday. We looked beat coming out the locker room. We looked beat. Got to be better. J.R. Black says, our expectations for this team was just high. In reality, our team was not ready for the big stage. That is it. We know we can beat bums. Now we move to the next level. And honestly, I mean, you're right to some extent, but this team could have beat good football teams if they were locked in. Like, bro, you got the talent. Like, just lock in and make plays. And partly that's on McDaniel, that's on Tua, that's on the defense. Some of these, like, everybody gets onus in this. Everybody gets onus. We gotta be better in these moments. If you can't beat the good teams, that tells me a lot about your football team. It tells me that y'all ain't really locked in like that. You're not really locked in. And that's what bothers me about this team. Hooked Up Joe says he was bent back bad in the Bills game and hurt his back. That was his last QB sneak for Tua. Nah, Tua needs to get to the point where he could do a QB sneak. I don't care about being bent back and none of that. If you can't be a quarterback who runs a quarterback sneak, bro, you can't be in the league. You gotta retire. Just retire. You can't do that. We can't have QBs who can't do a quarterback sneak. I'm not a fan of putting Tua in a bubble. I'm not a fan of that. If he can't play, he can't play. He got to figure it out. This is a grown man game, and if you can't go out there confident in your ability to, like, be a good football player, then you aren't gonna be a good football player. And I think that was part of the problem. I think he was just worried about getting hurt, and protecting his body. J.R. Black says, I'm pissed too. I had them 2 scrambles. Then this told he was able all season. He left plays on the field. I think Tua was just trying to make it through the season. I said that, J.R. Black. It seemed like he was trying to make it through the season, and in the playoff game, he started taking off because he knew, hey, I got to do whatever I got to do. Right? Like, bro, just play the season like that. Like, you can't worry about getting hurt. When you start thinking about it like that, that's when you get hurt. That's why you just got to go out there and play. Leave it on the field. Mr. Paul says, get a ball to Chris Brooks on 3rd and short and also in the red zone for sure. And that's going to be one of the things I bang for this offseason is a stud running back. I'm tired of seeing, like, Mostert and A-Chain are cool. That's a cool concept. They're very similar, though, right? The 4.9 crew would tell me, oh, we was good. What happened in the playoffs? What happened in the playoffs to the 4.9 crew?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Them boys got cooked. Because honestly, there's no reason for that. Like, A-Chain averaging 1.5 yards a carry. Most are running averaging 3. Like, bro, there's no excuse for that. In a game where you need them the most, negative 30 degrees weather? Come on, dude. You got to be better in that instance. You got to be. Oh, man. Hooked Up Joe says we need a back that can get 2 yards when we need it. We need a back who people are going to be scared of on 3rd and short, 4th and short. Derrick Henry, guys like that. You just hand them the ball, they're going to get it. They're going to fall forward. We need that. And I always said, hey, none of these backs in our backfield scare anybody. Chris Brooks, maybe, if you start getting him some carries, he'll start scaring some people. But right now, Mostert and A-Chain, they're not scaring nobody. Linebackers are licking their chops. We just got to catch them. If we catch them, oh, yeah, we bring them to the ground. But you got to catch them first. And, guys aren't scared of defense is a mob mentality. It's rallying to the football. It's helping your team. It's a wolf pack mentality. So they know they're not by themselves when it comes to catching guys. But when they're one-on-one in a hole with a running back and that dude says, hey, I'm coming at you and I'm about to run your ass flat over for the yard, that is a different type of animal, right? That's a totally different animal than having A-Chain or Mostert in the game, tossing it outside and trying to run to the sideline to get a yard. It's just a finesse mentality. Finesse don't win in the playoffs in weather like that. It just don't. I'm sorry. It just don't win like that. Mr. Park says, I'm happy. I'm happy with Chris Greer too, man. Happy with Chris Greer. Newfoundland says, Elliott, Ramsey, David Long, Sealer signed up. AJ. Yeah, I agree with that. All of them guys, dogs. Minka Fitzpatrick, a beast. Yeah, he was a beast. I wish we had Minka right now. Hooked Up Joe says, no more banged up guys on the O-line. We need guys that can stay healthy at their position. Musical chairs. O-line doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't. I'm tired of shuffling them dudes. We be shuffling them dudes every year. We shuffle the offensive line. Every year we shuffle the offensive line. It's bad, guys. We got to be better. We got to get a set of 5 in there and be able to, leave them throughout the year. Got to do that. Raf, what's good with you? He says the GM drafted players, but how many that panned out are no longer on the team? GM was 1 for 4, A-Chain, Smith, Higgins, and O-Tackle Hayes. Yeah, I think also – so Cam Smith, I think also, and I think that's part of the issue too, right? I don't think you should be drafting guys who aren't going to contribute to a team like this. I think everybody you draft should be somebody you plan on playing right away. And honestly, I was a fan of the of the Cam Smith pick initially. But when I realized he wasn't going to play it, I was like, damn, like we could have used that for somebody we could have used. Like right now, bro, our team is decimated. Like, and we got Cam Smith on the bench. That's a waste of a pick. Like, I understand the development and you want him to get right before he's out there, but bro, that's a bad way to approach it. That's a bad way to approach it. Bad way to approach it. You got to be better, man. You got to get guys in that are going to contribute right away because you don't have the time to develop guys. You need to bring in guys who are players, who are studs, who can go. Who can go. Lansing says we baby into it way too much, bro. I agree. CB, can Justin Fields run quarterback sneaks? Justin Fields can run more than quarterback sneaks, man. I like Fields, man. I told y'all. I think Justin Fields in the system would go crazy. I think he would. I'm just being honest with y'all. Honest up front. Justin Fields would go crazy in the system. He doesn't have the same passing, the anticipation and stuff that Tua has, but I think that some of that could be developed. And I think the element of him being a tough guy, being able to take off in instances, that adds a different element. Being able to improvise, I think that adds a different element that Tua doesn't have. It's an extra layer. So, Lewis, you ain't hurt my feelings, bro. I already know what time it is. Fields is solid. I'm telling you, he's solid, dude. Go watch the tape. Yeah. Fields is a young quarterback. He has missed reads. Tua's missing reads too. Come on now. Let's be real. Tua's missing reads. Fields miss reads. Fields just has the ability to escape, to do some stuff that other guys can't do. H says, CB, you really up there hating on most of the A-Chain after a year? Yeah. I mean, bro, what good is the year that we had if you don't do shit in the playoffs? Bro, I understand. They had a good year. But what happened in the playoffs, bro? It's about winning meaningful football games. What did they do against the teams that we needed them to ball out against? Buffalo. What did they do versus Philly? What did they do versus Kansas City? Like, they had a bunch of touchdowns, but it was a bunch of scrubs. That's like me I can't give Tua a bunch of credit for the season he had. Bro, he folded in the biggest moments. He's got to be better. Come on, dog. I mean, we can't give everybody a pass. We got to. We can't give everybody a pass, man. We can't coddle these guys. We can't coddle them, H. It may be a sad day, but it's a real day. You got to have a real conversation. Dolphins Realtor says, give me 2.5 seconds to throw on an average, a better inside run block, and one wide receiver that can fight off a jam. I mean, I agree with you. I think we got to find a way to like implement more wide receivers into the system. We can't just be throwing it to Tyreek and Waddle every time. We got to be more versatile. You know, a tight end would be nice, but I'm not going to say that's the difference maker. I think running the ball is always going to be the difference for this team. Like, you look at teams like Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they're running the football, right? And you're going to see it tomorrow when you watch them games. You're going to see them run games cooking. Pacheco, you see what Pacheco did to us? He ran it down our throats, no homo. Literally ran it down our throats. And shout out to the homie Shake Money for becoming a new member. Shout out to the homie Shake. Let's go, Shake. We up, my boy. We are up. And Shake Money's the homie. That's my brother. That ain't just my homie. That's my brother, man. I appreciate the homie Shake coming through, showing some love, becoming a member. It says, Lewis, I'm dead. Dang. Tom the Don says, get rid of I want the bag players, Tua included. If it comes to it, bag players are more trash than wins. Get players who want to win. That's what it's about. It's about winning. It's about dogs. It's about cats who want to go out there and compete. Ramsey, one of them dudes, man. We need more of them dudes in the locker room. We need more of them dudes willing to take on plays. And Ramsey got to be better, too. I saw him get ran over slowly. Bro, you got to be better. Everybody's got to be better. Everybody's got to be better, man. Lou said, welcome to the Wolf Pack. No, sir. Shout out to the homie Newfoundland. Became a YouTube member. Hey, we going up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, welcome to the members game, man. You and Shake Money in there. We got the talented 10 right now, boy. We loaded in there. Shout out to everybody becoming a member, man. Newfoundland, Shake Money, the homies, man. The homies for real, man. Shout out to them boys, man. I appreciate y'all. Shake Money and Newfoundland becoming new members. But yeah, man. Now, so we talked about McDaniel. I had to give Mike McDaniel's grief. I had to back up Greer a little bit. The roster can get better, right? I don't think this roster will get worse next year. I think you got to find, first of all, it's going to be some soul searching, right? Christian Wilkins, hey, I don't know if he'll be around, right? We got to be completely honest with ourselves. We don't know if he's going to be around like that. Jerome Baker, we don't know if he's going to be around. X, we don't know if he's going to be around. So these are some questions that we're going to have and that kind of need to be answered before we really approach this offseason. Because I think that's where we are as a team, just trying to figure out what's going to be the process moving forward. Because we gotta figure that out. We got to figure out who we're going to have prior to making any moves. So, hold on one second. Now, we got to discuss Tua a little bit, too, and I want to discuss Tua. And this is a real conversation. We got to have a real conversation. Tua's a good football player, really good football player. Has the ability to be great, right? I think he has the ability to be a great football player. But at the moment, he doesn't have the moxie he needs, right? He doesn't have the grit. Like I said, he just doesn't have that grit to really make the plays down the stretch and just to make the plays we need in certain instances. And I think that's on McDaniel and him. So it's not just him alone. I think it's the both of them. I think it's the offense in general, right? Everybody put me in a Wolfpack. Wolfpack orientation is next Saturday. We have coffee and donuts. Shake is responsible for recruiting. He's definitely responsible for recruiting. Lewis said, "Get CB an application." Ooh. Mr. Paul says, "CB, we have to utilize other players besides our star. Of course, those guys got to be a threat. It's like you having the LeBron James on the court, right? LeBron James getting double team and triple team, shit, you got to find somebody else to make a play, and that's kind of what happened to us down the stretch. We were just so Tyreek dependent. That when he went off the field, we looked lost. We looked lost, bro. So Tua's got to figure that out. McDaniel's got to figure that out. Tua needs to fight. He's got to fight more in these times. He's got to be more locked in. He's got to have his guys more locked in. He's got to be more of a leader in those instances. And that's what I kind of saw down the stretch. You want to see somebody light a fire under the offense or defense and be like, "Yo, let's go. Let's figure this out. Let's go out here and get it." I didn't really see that. Right? Every time they pan to Tua, he's on the sideline just chilling. Maybe he looks at the iPad. Maybe he doesn't. But I don't see him meeting with his guys. Hey, meet with go over there and talk to the offensive line. Hey, what are you guys seeing? What can we do to adjust? Like, you got to be locked in. Go talk to the receivers. That's what good quarterbacks do. We want to see that. You got to be locked in, especially in times like that where the game's on the line. I mean, it's win or go home. It's win or go home. Like, you gotta go out there and try to make plays, and you gotta get your guys locked in. Newfoundland says, gotta think Fangio might have big say on who's gonna be around. Of course, he's gonna have a huge say. I don't know if X gonna be there. I don't know if Jerome Baker gonna be there. I don't know if Tyndall and all these other guys will be there holding up space unless they're playing special teams. We'll see. Kevin Lee says he's not the guy, CB. Is he not the guy? I don't know. Tua could get better. He hasn't reached his ceiling. He need to develop some moxie, dog. The moxie. He missing it. He says, how can Tua become better or become greater, even get better? I think it's only his 4th year in the league. I don't think Peyton Manning won a playoff game until like his 6th or 7th season. Like, I think we live in such a microwave society that we expect Tua to be good right now and be great. I don't think that's realistic. I think it's a process to that, right? And I think you have to – some quarterbacks take more time than others, right? We look at Jordan Love right now. Jordan Love sat for 2 years behind Aaron Rodgers before he got his opportunity. But that time that he sat, he could have learned a lot, right? And every player is different. Every human is different. So you kind of got to look at everybody's situation a little bit different. And that's why I don't like comparing guys, because it's like, damn, bro, they're in totally different situations. Like, that's a totally different coaching staff, totally different city he's in. There's a lot that could be determined how he's playing and stuff like that, right? So I think that's different. But when you look at Tua's situation, he came into a bad situation initially. Got better with Mike McDaniel. There's weapons around him. The injuries hurt, right? It's kind of set him back. He showed he could stay healthy this year. Now develop the moxie. Develop it. Get confident in your craft. Get very confident in your craft. And get comfortable in your body, like moving around. Being able to take off a little bit. Like being more athletic, like showing the athleticism. He's done it at times. Like, you're not telling me Tua hasn't had moments where he's shown that he could take off and get a first down and stuff like that. He's done it. He's got to work on his game in the offseason. He's got to he showed he could stay healthy. Now it's about, hey, taking my game to the next level, right? And I think iron sharpens iron. So you got to put yourself in some situations where you're around some guys who are going to focus on getting you better, right? And it may be uncomfortable. They may be like, dog, you soft. Like, you got to be better. Like, they may talk to him like that. Right? But I think that's going to help him, right? And I think I said this on the AFC's roundtable. I said, hey, Tua's been sheltered. I could tell he's been sheltered, like socially, right? I think that's part of it. I think he's still growing and developing as a person, and I think that's realistic. I think that's what it is. That's the nature of it, right? Some people are kind of outgoing. Being around people doesn't bother them. I just think Tua's just kind of coming into his own right now, right? I think that's part of it. So, man, he hasn't hit a ceiling. We need him to be better sooner than later. We just do. We need him to be better sooner than later. Let me see here. Mr. Polk says Chris Brooks, Chase Claypool, Channing Tindall, Brandon Peely, Cedric Wilson Jr. utilize these players. They're players. They don't see the field nearly enough. They don't see the field nearly enough. Tua started underthrowing again down the stretch. Not a good look. Yeah, those balls were a little underthrown at times, and that did bother me too. And I think Tua's just got to let it go. Stop aiming the damn ball. Like, I didn't really see him do that at Alabama. He wasn't worried about putting touch on it. Bro, like, let the ball go. Like, if you let the ball go, you give our guys a much better opportunity. I would much rather see you overthrow these guys than underthrow them. Because the underthrows, those come with interceptions. Just overthrow them. Our guys are faster than anybody else down the field. So if you overthrow Tyreek, I ain't mad at you. Bro, you put it out there. Not mad at that. So I would much rather see the overthrows than see the underthrows. Fence fan says Tua is trash, bro. Move on. Nah, Tua not trash. TD said Tua is trash. He's not trash. Brad Boss says, CB, you really didn't seem confident on that roundtable, dog. I'm confident as I could be. I mean, Tua showed me that Tua don't make me confident about playing good football teams, if that's what you're asking. McDaniel doesn't make me confident about playing good football teams because he won't stick to the run, and the run game is sometimes non-existent. Yeah. Kevin Lee says, I was so disgusted by Miami's play the last few weeks of the season. I even passed on watching the last 2 episodes of Hard Knocks. If we had a playmaker and a mobile QB, we would still be in the playoffs. Ooh. Man, that's what you saying? Saying we need a new QB, huh? Boy, is wildin'. Brad says you want a soft guy to show that dog. You admitted McDaniel started too nice. There's no turning back, bro. He did start too nice. And I think that's just his personality, too. I think, bro, you can't fake it. That's one thing you can't do in the NFL. Like, nobody's going to respect you if you fake it. So if he comes in and he tries to be this hard ass, no, that's not going to work either. So there's a fine line between doing too much and not doing enough. Now, this season, if he approaches it like, hey, guys, I'm going to push you guys harder. I'm going to hold you guys accountable. We got to be better as a unit, as a team, individually. I'm going to push the coaches to do the same. That should be the approach, right? Because he can't just kind of flip and do a 180, but he can say, hey, we're going to tighten things up around here because we want to be better, right? We're playing for our jobs. We're playing for our families, our livelihoods. We got to do better as professionals. So he could have that conversation with them. That's realistic, right? And he can try to hold them accountable moving forward. He could do that. It's just tough. It's just tough. Fence fan says we need Phils or Russ. Phils or Russ, huh? I like Phils. Russ is good, too. I like Russ. Ooh, Q, what's popping? The homie Q in the building. Shout out to the homie Q, man. Let's go. Yes, sir. Mr. Paul says, CB83, I followed Tua from Alabama, create schemes to spread the ball. Yeah, I mean, Tua's the best when he's spreading the ball around and when he has a run game. Definitely. Batman's Pops in the building. The Tua haters, the Wolfpack coming out the woodworks tonight. Tua's not trash. He's garbage. Jalen Waddle, biggest enemy is because every time he gets injured, Waddle always surrounded by 2 or 3 defenders. Let's see that. Hey, it's still Tua time. Growing pains. Yes, sir, it is. Right? Tua can do it, bro. You just got to show us. Got to show us, dog. You got to show us. You take last year's D, this year's O, we be playing right now. I'm saying if D was healthy, we'd still be in this thing. I agree with that, too. A lot of injuries down the stretch. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough with them injuries, man. I do not think putting 8 or 9 because they don't respect his arm. They don't do it because they see a weak O-line and sit and duck while playing over the top of Hill. They respect Tua enough to double Hill. They do. Yeah, they do double Hill because they know Hill could get off on them. But they do put those guys in the box because they know, hey, We ain't scared of them dudes. We not scared of them dudes in the box. So I see that being the case as well. Booty Cheeks in the building. Honeymoon is over next year. It's do or die for a lot of people in Miami. I agree with that. I don't think it's drastic, but I think, they got to make some things happen next year. Cap for Life in the building. What's up, Cap for Life? Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the homie Cap. Fence fan says, CB, when are you gonna finally beat TBD in the Bay? Man, I'd be busting TD over the head. You better go watch the roundtable. Go watch that You better go watch that replay. Man, I was on TD head tonight. I know TD in here. Throw them eyes up, TD. I know you lurking. Kevin Lee says, CB, look at the quarterbacks that are still in the AFC playoffs, all mobile and playmakers. Lamar, Stroud, Allen, Mahomes, all playmakers. Enough said. I mean, I can't be mad at you with that when it comes to that. Brad Boss says, we all know that if Fields or even Murray was on this team, Tua wouldn't be the guy, bro. If this team has one bad year, I can see McDaniels being used as a scapegoat and Fangio being given the job. Ugh. Wow. That's a crazy take right there. Q says, you should tap into Reason and Omar Kelly's show. Omar known to a critic, keeping it objective. Everyone shoulders the blame. And that's real. And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying everybody got to take it. Tua got to take it. McDaniel's got to take it. I think Fangio's got to take it because his defense was soft down the stretch. Come on, man. Everybody got to take that ass whooping. They got to. Lou says, Cap. What you talking about, Lou? Hey, Lou got the link. If you scared to pull up, you scared to pull up. If you scared, go to church, my boy. If you scared, go to church, Lou. He says, bro, God. J.R. Black, this is crazy. Anywhere Tua Bashing is going, some names appear like Candyman. Oh, they coming out the woodwork, ain't they, JR? Hey, them boys coming out the woodwork. 6'5" King in the building says, it's a Bucks life. That's my homie, the Bucks fan. Hey, the Bucks doing work right now. I ain't even mad at y'all. Y'all better sign Baker to that deal. That boy is dealing. Baker playing good ball. Baker would have been a crazy backup here in Miami. He might have been starting. He might have been. You never know. Baker got that dog in him, though. I respect that about Baker. Bro, come out of the tunnel with the smelly sauce. Like, got to get right. Lit. DG live in the building. Shout out to the homie DG for pulling up. Oh, man. Shout out to the homie. Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie DG. Pull up. Oh, man. Sal, what's good with you? Sal says, really doesn't matter, Dolphins fans, as long as JA-17 is in the division. Dolph frauds always looking up. Man, Sal, get out of here with that nonsense, bro. Sal, we got something for you. We got something for you, my boy. Guess what?
Man, sit your dumb ass down and shut.
I had to give you that one, man. It's all right. We coming for that division back. Hey, you do got the link, man. I sent you the link, bros. Hey, cats be lying. I got screenshots. Lou, you lying. I got screenshots. I sent you the link at 9:51 p.m. That was 20 minutes ago. Cats in here lying. Chat filling up with the stars. Yes, sir. Them boys coming out. They they know the boy CB back in town. The boys are back in town. Q says, I'm happy for Baker. All the shit he's taken the past few years. What Baker do? What he do? He got hurt. He got hurt twice. Man, y'all better stop. Batman Pop says, I heard you was looking for Candyman. Haha. I heard you was looking for the wolf pack, Batman. That's where you reside at. Man, I sent it to you via text, fool. I sent it to your text. I sent it to I sent it to you via text, dog. Stop playing. Acting like you don't see it, bro. I got screenshots. These dudes be acting crazy. Tua gonna send my grandma to her grave real soon. God forgive me. Boy, you ain't no good. Hey, Lansing, you ain't no good, bud. That boy.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's funny. Hey, stop talking about them weak ass baby lizards, man. Shout out to them Knowles boys. Hey, them Knowles in them Alabama Crimson Tide been in the portal going to the FSU. What you know about it? Chris Greer good. He gave McDaniel dogs. Gave them boys dogs. What y'all talking about, man? Hey, I'm gonna be going live a lot more often, man. I appreciate the members joining the squad. Shake Money in the building. Back in the members gang. New Finland back in the members gang. We already got in the members gang. Who we got in there? We got S. Harris in there. We got Hooked Up Joe. We got Triple S Podcast. We got Big Slick, Raul Parada, and Cruz Ruiz. We're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members. Shout out to the members gang. Newfoundland and Shake Money are now in the gang. Appreciate y'all boys, man. Appreciate y'all boys. Hey, let's do some draft prospects, DG. Let's definitely cover some draft prospects. I'm definitely doing that. So I'm about to get on my research, gang. I want to cover the draft prospects. I want to cover some free agency stuff. We're going to have fun with it this offseason. This is kind of like my first real offseason as a content creator. So I'm definitely going to get in and like talk about draft prospects, break down some film, and do some cool stuff, man. Because that's what it's about, doing cool stuff, bringing you guys good content. Mr. Paul, Chris Greer has to stay, Fins fan. Yes, sir. You got to stay. Yes, sir. Hooked Up Joe, bringing the members gang logos back. It doesn't pop up on the screen, but you can see it in the chat. Shout out to the homie Q, Mihamano, my oos. What's good with you? Joining the members gang. Shout out to the homie Q, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We got to go up for the homie Q. Let's go. Yes, sir, man. Excited for this offseason, Q. I'm super excited for the offseason. It'll be a fun offseason. It's gonna be and it'll be some back and forth, right? It'll be some Tua talk. The crazy thing is, I think the Tua talk and the Tua hate has kind of calmed down a little bit. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird. Like, I thought it would be a little bit more crazier out here, and I don't think that's the case. I feel like, cats are just kind of like, whatever happens, happens. Whether we extend them or move on from them, whatever happens, happens. And I think that's what's best for the Miami Dolphins community is just, hey, whatever the organization decides to do, I'm just going to support it. That's where I'm at with it, because it don't make no sense for me to be stressing myself over it. Not at all. But yeah, bro, I see y'all boys throwing them things in the chat. I see y'all throwing them things in the chat, man. But I appreciate y'all. Check this out. So my son has a U.S. flag football championship, not championship, but tournament tomorrow. So we got to get up super early. He has to be out there at Disney at like 7:30 in the morning. So I gotta get up early, get him going, get my daughter going, get out there. And, you know, just I'm coaching, so spend some time with him. It's going to be cold out. Get him ready. Get him warmed up. He's playing quarterback. So that's what I'm going to be doing all weekend. So he's got 4 or 5 games tomorrow. He's got, you know, another 3-4 games on Sunday. So pray for us. Wish us the best while we're out there. I just want to see the kids have fun and not get hurt or injured. I mean, that's what it's about. And compete and see them boys make plays. I'll try to get some footage. You know, I'll post somewhere on Twitter or Instagram or something. But, man, I appreciate you guys. It was good to be back. I will be coming live more often for sure, right? I'll be live more often. We're definitely going to do some stuff about the offseason, the draft, the owners meeting, OTAs. This is going to be a fun offseason. I think the Dolphins are going to prepare themselves for making the push, and I think now they kind of understand what they need. I think that's the great thing about a season like this. You learn from it. You know, you figure out what you need to do moving forward to kind of be better, a better team, and be more physical. So, I mean, that's what I expect to see. I expect them to try to get more physical for sure, try to get better as a football team. But, yeah, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell everybody I'm back, man. Tell everybody I'm back. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We're going to keep building brick by brick. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Will the Dolphins make moves and get better next year and just be that team we need them to be?
I hope so.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, I really do hope so, man. Hey, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy, Finn State with CB83, and I'm out. See ya.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.